Okay, let us begin. We have our work set out for it tonight. Okay, good evening. We welcome everyone. We're grateful and thankful that you came tonight. We're thankful for Orot for putting this together and for all of you that showed up. We are less than 24 hours away from a very, very important month in the Jewish calendar. This month is called the month of Adar. This month is the happiest month that we have in the Jewish calendar. The month of Adar, rabbis tell us, is a month where if a person needs to go to court, he needs to perform surgery, he needs to apply for a job, anything that he wants good luck in, our rabbis advise us to do it in the month of Adar. Because the mazal of the Jewish people is very high in the month of Adar. And our rabbis tell us, Mishin nichnas Adar marbim besimcha. What does it mean? When Adar enters, we increase our happiness. What does it mean to increase? If I tell you you have to increase your happiness, does that mean that you weren't happy before, now you have to be happy? Or does it mean that you were happy, you just have to up a notch the vault a little bit? What does marbim besimcha means? You have to increase, means to say, all year you have to be happy. Adar, you just have to increase your happiness. So Rabbi, how do I increase my happiness? We live in such a world, 2025, right? Everything is, I think you can all agree, with social media out there, it's very fake. It's very, I want to show that I'm happy, but internally I'm not happy. So how do I increase my happiness? So Rav Nachman says, this month, how do you increase your happiness? You should eat the things you like more this month. If you like a good steak, have it twice, 3 times in this month. If you like shopping, go shopping this month. It's on Hashem, yeah? Whatever it is that you like to do that makes you happy, you should dafka do it this month. Why? So that it has the power to give over to the rest of the year your happiness. So the more you increase your happiness this month, the more happier you'll be in the upcoming months as well. Rav Nachman also tells us, I call Rav Nachman of Breslov the doctor of happiness. Why do I call him the doctor of happiness? Because all of his books, they have one common denominator. Mitzvah gedola liyot besimcha. It's very important to be happy. It's a great mitzvah to be happy. When? Tamid, always. So all of his books, all of his messages, everything is the same message. Be happy. Why? Why was that so important? He was a psychologist. They say about Rav Nachman that when he was young, he was a very depressed child. He did not have such a happy life. Not in his family, not in his childhood. He was not such a smart student, not such a bright student. He suffered a lot from depression. But why did he come out and he became the rabbi of happiness? It's because he always lived by a concept called Tachla Chadasha, which means what? New beginning. Tomorrow is a new day. Tachla Chadasha. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new beginning. Tomorrow is a new day. What's the proof? Very simple. The first thing that we do when we wake up in the morning is we wash our hands with water. Why do we do that?
Think of all the bad sins when you wake up.
Oh, very good. It's coming to help us, it's coming to teach us that just like water is an entity that you wash dirty things with. If something's dirty, you wash. Right? You wash it, you clean it. How do you clean it? With the water. You shower, clean yourself with water. Women go to the mikvah once a month. They, from impure to become pure, they need to dip in a body of water. So water is an element that takes away impurity, takes away dirt. So the first thing we do when we wake up in the morning is we wash our hands. Means to say, it's a new day. We're washing everything off from the previous day. Everything that is holding us down, everything that's heavy, we're washing it off. It's a new day. But the first thing I do is I wash my hands. Besides for the halachic aspect that we're washing, like Berta said, we're washing the impurity, but the emotional, the spiritual aspect of it is that it's a new day. I'm starting fresh, I'm starting new. Whatever happened yesterday is yesterday. Today is a brand new day. I'm starting fresh. So Rav Nachman said that the generation before Mashiach comes is going to suffer major suffering of sadness, of depression, of anxiety, of worriness, of overthinking, of building problems that don't exist. Just Jewish nation will suffer tremendously from this. And the only thing that can help them is infusing vitamin H or vitamin S, happiness, simcha, or vitamin J, joy. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that will infuse, that's going to heal and make it better, is if we exercise this muscle called happiness. So that's why it's very appropriate to come tonight and to learn of how to really be happy. Really, really get to the core. So I wrote some notes. Now, please don't mind the grammar. I wrote it with 2 fingers in the span of 30 minutes, on one leg, and eating dinner, feeding dinner, etc. So, and most of it I was just voice noting. So I don't know what happened over there. I had to print it. Couldn't have time to really correct anything. But you have it, and what you have is, I want to tell you, it's worth $1 million. Mamash worth $1 million. Now you don't have every paper here because I can't reveal all my secrets, right? That I'm gonna have to charge for, but this you have, and you have this, and you have it forever, and I think it's mamash life-saving. And I would say that this shiur is not gonna be the typical shiur, and you might hear things you never heard before. And I'm confident when I say that, because we did a lot of research. Not just from a Torah point of view, but from a psychological point of view, an emotional point of view, a mental health point of view. We went through a lot of psychologists, mental health help, and different svarim, different books that were written by rabbis that have PhDs in these fields. So once again, the generation before Mashiach is going to be filled with sadness. Be filled with anxiety, depression, worriness, creating problems, overthinking. And how do we stop that? How many of us are familiar with the thought and saying, when I have this, I'll feel this way? Is that familiar? I'm recording. I shouldn't?
No.
Good.
I want to make sure.
So I'll tell you, as much as we do record, and I'm for recording, it's a difference when you're here. I'll tell you why spiritual. Our Chachmei HaKabbalah say that whenever you are in the shiur, and there's this, words have energy, right? They did studies, and I'm sure you've heard this before, they teach us this in universities now, that they spoke good to one plant in one room, and they spoke bad to another plant in another room, and they saw after a couple of months a big difference. The plant that was spoken positive things to grew beautifully. The plant that was spoken negative things to, it did not grow, or it was very ugly. So words have a lot of power. So when you're in the shiur and you're live, the words that hit you, they have a different effect than if you watch it at home or you're listening to it at home. If you can't make it, that's why we record it. So again, if I have a car, Rabbi, if I get this car, I'm going to be happy. Right? Familiar? Familiar. When I get married, Rabbi, this problem will be solved. That will happen. When I have my first child, half my problems will disappear. Right? We put conditions to our happiness. But instead of putting conditions, we need to put decisions. You need to decide to be happy. It's a decision, not a condition. It's in your notes. We're going to read it in the notes. Right? Happiness is not a condition. It's a decision. And we're going to give many proofs of how that works. I'll give you one small example, which we're going to see in our notes. You're playing a sport game. I don't know how many of you are into sports, but you're playing a sport game, right? You're playing basketball, you're playing soccer, whatever it is. I don't know, you're jump roping, something. And you're competing, you're in a competition. And now you made it to the finale, which means that you can win a prize. Whether it's a trophy or money, fame, you'll be in Bahrain Times, I don't know what. In the back of Druzhba magazine, right? Whatever it may be. Shout out to Ornathan. Free advertisement, yeah? Don't charge them. You're in a competition. And now, let's say, I don't know, give me something you guys like. What do you like to play? What do you like to watch? Soccer is okay. No, you're playing soccer. Okay, you're playing soccer. It's 2 minutes left. It's the finals. The last game of the season. Winner takes all. And you are one of the captains of the team. Or co-captain. And you get 2 minutes left. Tie game. And you are running back and forth, kicking the ball, and you get hit in the leg really badly. Really badly. Chas v'shalom. You get hit in the leg really badly. Now you're the captain. What are you doing? 2 minutes left. This is the championship, the tie game. What do? You play. You continue to play. Yeah? You continue to play. You finish playing, you win, you lose. The minute that the buzzer rings, what happens to your leg? It starts to hurt. You start to feel it. 1 second. Your teammates tell you, hey, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, you got hit. You were okay, you were playing, you were scoring, you were running around like nothing happened. Why, when the game is over, you start to feel it? Because your brain goes into a mode. What does your brain tell your body? I don't have time for this now. We're in the middle of a game. It's very important. No pain. No time. No time to feel the pain. Adrenaline, but where does the adrenaline come from? From the brain. It comes from the brain. There's no time for the pain. It's a game. It's on the line. The moment, the ambiance. So you play. You don't feel the pain. When the game is over, your brain says, okay, now go ahead, feel the pain. So that was not condition. That was a decision. Because you knew you had to play. You knew you had to be healthy. You knew you had to not feel the pain. Your brain made a decision. I need to stay happy here. I need to not feel the pain. So you see the power of our brain. Or everyone here hates traffic. Whether you're driving, whether you're a passenger, whether you're on a bus, everyone hates traffic. You're driving, and you're driving somewhere. You're going to college. 30-minute drive. Rainy day. Traffic is slow, foggy. You're hitting all the red lights. Every light is red for you. You're just frustrated. Your brain tells you to be frustrated. Are you frustrated because of the traffic? No. You're not frustrated because of the traffic. You're not angry because of the traffic. You're not upset because of the traffic. You're angry, you're frustrated because you're telling yourself to be that way. What's the proof? Well, if you had sitting next to you on the passenger seat someone very funny and very interesting, someone that you like their company, and you're sitting with them, and they're making you laugh. And it's the same traffic, the same red light, the same fog, the same rain, and they're making you laugh, and these 30 minutes felt like 5 minutes. It's the same traffic, but are you frustrated? Why not? Why aren't you frustrated? It's the same traffic.
Your mind's not on it.
Because your mind made a decision. What's the decision? I'm focused on something else. So it's not condition. Simcha, or happiness, is not condition. It's decision. We decide. Why are you upset? She made me upset. No, she did not make you upset. You're deciding to be upset. You're deciding to be upset. She didn't make you upset. This situation made you upset. No. And really, I learned this concept from my wife. She always used to tell me that our emotions are not because of, we have control of our own emotions, not because of other people. We decide whether we feel how we feel, how we want to feel. And I gave you the proofs. You got hit in the leg. You decide, I'm not going to feel the pain now because there's something more important. It's not unconditioned, it's decision. So that's rule number one. Rule number one, very important rule to know, we have to decide to be happy. It's a decision that we make. So when I get this car, or when I get married, or when this happens, or when that happens, or when I'm dealing with a case, maybe I shouldn't say I'm being recorded, but when and if, will happen, I will be happy. It's not condition, it's decision. You can decide to be happy, it's in your hands. Now, why is happiness and our thoughts, machshava, so inclined, so related? Well, how do you say happiness in Hebrew?
Simcha.
Simcha. But how do we, in the Israeli lingo, or in the way we talk, how do we say it? Besimcha. Besimcha. Okay. So now you take the word besimcha, which means, what is besimcha? The b in the beginning, what does it do?
With.
Be is what? No, not with. In. In what? In happiness. It's grammatically incorrect. So listen to this. No, you're right. In happiness, that's what it means, but it's grammatically incorrect. It's weird. In happiness. Besimcha, if you rearrange the letters, it's the same as machshava.
Like the way you think.
Much machshava? Your thoughts. So, besimcha, in happiness, where is it in? In your thoughts. Machshava. So, machshava, thoughts, simcha, happiness. Same words. Same letters. Rearrange it. It's in here. Our happiness is all in here. Many think, oh, if I have this, if this happens, if that happens, if the schedule works well, I will be happy. No. How many people we know that have everything in the world and more, and they're not happy? And they're not happy. Rather, when the sheets, I'm going a little out of it. Seems like that's what Hashem wants. But in the sheets, if you turn to the back of the page, again, please excuse the spelling, the grammar. You have Superman, right? You see in the bold letter Superman? Who's the first Superman? Christopher Reed. Don't Google him. You shouldn't Google Tameh people. But Christopher Reed. And the Baal Shem Tov says you can learn a lot from Goyim. Right? So there's Chokhmat Goyim. And the reason why Hashem gave Goyim, and they're famous, and they're out there in the world, and they're all over the newspapers, is for us to learn certain things from. Either to be or not to be. So we can learn good things from Goyim. Superman, Christopher Reed, he died from a horse accident. I'm sorry, he did not die. He became paralyzed from neck to feet, to his feet. He became paralyzed from a horse accident. So, one rabbi came to visit him many, many years ago. This is going back to the first Superman, so this is going 60 years ago maybe. He came to visit him. A rabbi that was, lived in the area he lived. I think it was in England. So he meets him. And the rabbi says to him, tell me something about your life. And let's see what he says. I've never been more happier in my life since my accident. That's what he said. It's recorded. How can you say that, the rabbi asks him? I discovered the real me. It's not all that I have, the money, the fame, etc. Happiness is an inside job. You can't give it if you want to. Can I give you my phone? Can I give it to you? Sure. Yes, I can. If I want to. Can I give you my cup? Sure. I can give you, right? Can I give you my happiness? What?
You can show it. You can show it.
You can't give your happiness.
You can show it, but
Can I give it?
no.
Oh. So there are many people in our life that are living in our head rent-free. For free. Rent-free, they're living in our life. Living in our head rent-free. Oh, this person is not making me happy. Not possible. You can't give your happiness to someone because it's from the inside to the outside, not the outside to the inside. So this Superman, he said, since my accident, I was never happy. And all my millions, all the fame. No, because I learned who I am, who I was. And then you have Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes, don't Google him, right? Don't Google Tameh people. But Howard Hughes, I believe I shouldn't say he's Tameh, he might be Jewish. He was a billionaire. And look what he says. Quote, you can see this online. I don't remember ever waking up in my life and saying I'm happy. Right? Can you imagine? These people were billionaires. They had enough money for their great-great-grandchildren. And there is no happiness. Why? Because happiness is not on the outside in. It's from the inside out. It starts from the inside. Besimcha, same letters, machshava. in simha. Machshava. In where? In your mind, in your thoughts. And now, I don't know if you have this in the sheet, but there was a lady. There was a lady who, I have it. There was a lady, I don't have her name here. Oh, Wendy Suggs. She passed away from a sickness that starts with the C. I choose not to say it, not to give it power. She had 4th stage. And this C that she had, women that have it, 96% of women that have this, at stage 4, the max they survive is 5 years. She was on her 8th year. So she's the 4% that survived more than 5 years. She was a keynote speaker at some very big event. And her speech lasted for 7 seconds. 7 seconds. What was her speech? And it was the most powerful speech in that time. And maybe till today if we tap into it. Look what she said. She says, I have this sickness, but I'm not this sickness. My body has this sickness. I'm not my body. Very deep. 7 seconds. The crowd was... You can't beat that. You can't beat that. I have this sickness, but I'm not this sickness. My body has it, but I'm not my body. And we see from these 3 individuals that at their dire moments, we should never know. We should not go through anything, rough and tough to realize that. But they all realize that it's not the stuff that makes me happy. It's not the outside in, it's the inside that comes out. And so they asked her, how do you get to that level? And she said to them, who's looking at me? He said, our eyes are looking at you. Who's listening to me? Our ears. She says, no. Your eyes are not looking at me. Your ears are not listening to me. It's your brain that allows you, that gives a signal to your eyes and ears to get the message across so that you can see and can hear me. For example, you ever played the game of telephone? Mm-hmm. What usually happens in the end? It changes. It starts with a flower, it ends up fire. How did it happen, flower to fire? Right? Because when you hear, it's the same thing. I told you but your brain chooses to listen to something else. So when you look at me, your eyes are not looking at me. And you're hearing me, your ears are not hearing me. It's your brain that gives a signal to your eyes and ears to see what it chooses to see, and that's what you choose to see and to hear. You can say the same story to 2 people. They both came out with something else. Because the way their brain processed this story, it chose it to process it differently. And so too, a picture, right? The famous example. You show a butterfly with a tree. One person would say, wow, it's a nice spring day. Another person would say, wow, it's about to rain. The same picture. Because our brain processes differently. So everything is in the brain, b'machshava. Our simcha, our happiness, is located where? In the machshava. Now, what I've said, it may be something that you've heard before. Machshava, simcha. But if you take the word b'machshava, it also has the same letters as chamisha. What does chamisha mean? 5. Let's do it together. Rabbi, what are you telling me? Let's do it together, right? I don't know. What if you're tricking me over here? Just to sound, it sounds good. Machshava, chamisha. Let's do it together. Let's spell machshava and let's spell chamisha. I'm sorry. Let's spell besimcha and let's spell chamisha. Besimcha. Bet. Shin. Mem. Het. Hey. Good. Now let's spell chamisha. Het. Mem. Yud, Shin, Hey. Just the Yud is extra, but he's small, so we can, close one eye on him. But Machshava and Hamisha is the same thing. What's the connection of Machshava? I'm sorry, I keep saying Machshava. Simcha. See why I'm saying machshava? Because my brain's telling me to say machshava. Why am I simcha? What's the connection between simcha and hamisha? What hamisha is hamsa? What is it? If you don't have ayin hara, you'll be happy. What is hamisha have to do with simcha? No gematria tonight. Maybe later. I don't know. I used to be very into gematria. You know, when I started speaking in Orot, every class was gematria. And now I don't know. I mellowed down. Okay. So what happened? What does hamisha have to do with simcha? Very simple. Says Harav Nachman, the doctor of simcha, the doctor of happiness. He says, in order for you to really be happy, 5 parts of your body have to be happy. 5 parts. What are the 5 parts?
Your brain.
Is the 5 parts of your soul, not a body. 5 parts of you. There are 5 parts to your soul. Nefesh, Ruach. Go ahead. Next. Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. Nefesh is where? Nefesh is where? In the liver. Hazaku Baruch. In the liver. Liver pumps what?
Why do you know this? I went to seminary.
Liver pumps what? Filters your? Doctor, yeah? Soon to be, okay? Filters your blood. So that's why, for men, we are not allowed to shave with a razor. Why? Because it causes us to bleed, and it causes us to bleed. Pieces of our soul will leave. You know that? That's one of the reasons why we can't shave with the razor. Causes us to bleed, and pieces of our soul leaves. So, the nefesh is in our blood, in our liver. All your enjoyment in the world come from your liver. You enjoy a piece of steak, where does it come from? Your liver. Yeah? Liver. Everything is the liver. Alcohol. Damages your liver.
I was also thinking that. It's steak.
Nefesh. Then you have ruach. Ruach is where? In your heart. Liver and heart. There's a connection between the heart, which is blood, liver, which is pumps the blood. Clear. Doctor, what you said, filters out the blood. Very good. So the ruach is in the heart, which is connected to your speech, because you say what you feel. Yeah? What's in your heart, speech heart. Okay. Then you have neshama, which is where? In your brain. That's why we put the tefillin, men put on tefillin over here. Right?
Doesn't neshama mean soul?
Yeah. But there's 5 parts to your soul. Why is it called soul? Because we share with animals and nefesh. Animals also have nefesh. How are they alive? They have a soul. What kind of soul? The soul that's in our liver is the same soul they have, but that's all they have. That's it. They only have nefesh. They don't have ruach. Ruach is speech, heart, speech. They don't have that. They can't speak. They make sounds. Rabbi, how about a parrot? It speaks. No, it repeats. It doesn't speak. If you never talk to a parrot, he'll never talk. He only repeats. And you have the neshama, which is in the brain. Then you have chaya and yichida, which is above. This is above our class. I'm not an expert in Kabbalah, but you ask your local Orthodox Kabbalist. But we're going to focus on these 3 parts, which affect the 2. So when it says that besimcha has the same letters as chamisha, it's talking about the 5 parts to our soul. As long as these 5 parts of our soul are happy, are getting sustenance, then we will have true happiness. So let's give an example. You girls will love this example. The Gemara says, please forgive me, don't throw tomatoes at me. Oh, we didn't give you tomatoes to throw. Okay. The Gemara says, what is considered a bad wife? Isha ra'a. Isha ra'a. Ra'a means bad. What is considered a bad wife? What is a bad wife? Wife. Isha ra'a. What's a bad wife? Now I'll get to the men too. What's considered a bad husband?
The bad one doesn't do nothing. The bad wife doesn't cook.
It stops recording.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
It's good.
good.
What is considered a bad wife? The Gemara says someone who made your favorite dinner. She cooked you favorite?
But she doesn't give it to her to smile, right?
Very good.
It's always
Azak. Someone, the Gemara says, same goes with a man. Someone who made you your favorite dinner. Mom is your favorite. She calls you, what do you want for dinner tonight? You tell her a steak with some, now you know I like steak, right? So you have a steak with some French fries and some rice, Coca-Cola with nice lemon. That's my birthday dinner, yeah? So she makes you a steak, whatever you want, she makes you. You're so excited. You're already, what is it, salivating?
Salivating.
You're all day and you're not working, you're thinking about the steak. You come home. You smell it, you know the smell? Wow, it hits you in the face. You know that Shabbos smell? Your wife's cooking on Shabbos, Mama's cooking on... You open the door, boom. It smells like Shabbat in the house. So you come home, you're so excited, you wash your hands with soap because that's, what you have to do. It's healthy to wash your hands with soap. You have to say the ABCs, 20 seconds, warm water.
It's 30 seconds now.
30 seconds now.
Yeah, it's 30 seconds.
So you wash your hands, you come, you sit on the table, and she presents you a nice presentation, the steak. She presents it to you in a very cold way. She turns around and she says, I hope you choke. That's what the Gemara says. That's called the Ishara. It's an evil woman. Now let's get back to the husbands. Rabbi, you always speak about women. How about the men? I'll tell you the men. So you want a certain, coat. You want a certain nice macaj. You want the wrong color, huh? Talking from experience. You have a nice macaj, you're dreaming about macaj. It's your birthday. He buys you a macaj. And it's warm too. It's not because it looks nice and everyone has it. It's warm, right? It happens to be warm. He presents it to you. Obviously not with a smile. And he says, I hope you're cold in it.
You hope what?
I hope you're cold in it.
Oh, what?
I hope it doesn't keep you warm. Right? He tells you that. The Gemara says, evil man, Ishra, evil man. Well, why? He gave you the coat. She cooked you the meal. But how was the presentation? How was it given over to you?
It's not what he did, it's how he did it.
Azak. It's not what, it's how. So why am I telling you this? Because there are 5 parts to your soul. If 5 parts of your soul are satisfied, this is real happiness. How do you satisfy them? Let's go. Number 1, your liver is all the pleasure. When you hear about the steak, or you're going to eat the steak, it's delicious. Which part of your soul are you satisfying? The liver.
The liver is pleasure?
The liver is pleasure. All your pleasure that you enjoy, it's liver. The liver soul is enjoying. That means when you go, to the Bounds house. I went to the Bounds house 2 Sundays ago with my kids. It's fun. It's enjoyable, right? So what's enjoying? You think your body's enjoying, but really the inner side of you is enjoying. It's the nefesh. It's the liver. But at the same time, now that someone's wife presented them the steak, he's going to enjoy it. It tastes good. But because she said, I hope you choke. Now she used her mouth to hurt you, which means the ruach, the heart, which is connected to the mouth, is now upset. Now you're upset. You're eating your good steak, delicious. You're upset. Now when you're upset, what happens in your brain? You start to build a certain story. Why did she say it? What did I do? Did I come late? Right? And you start to... So now are you really happy? But it's the same steak you have every birthday. It's the best. It's better than any Pisgah or any Lamaray restaurant. Lamaray was when I wasn't Jewish. I used to go there. Now I don't go there. I don't know why I don't go there. Same steak. Why aren't you happy now? Why aren't you fully happy? Because in order to fully really be happy, 5 parts of your soul have to enjoy. Now, 1 part is enjoying. You're enjoying the steak. But the ruach and the neshama, there's a pagam in it. There's impurity in it. Something was said not nice, which got you upset, and now you're not happy.
Does this have to do with emotion? So like the heart, usually, even in the Torah, is referred to as an emotional organ. So does this have to do with that? That it was given with that emotion?
Exactly. So now, picture a different scene where the wife gives you the same steak, but enjoy my dear husband. So now your heart is enjoying, then become your brain is enjoying, now you're really happy. It's the same steak. But you see how so much detail is placed It's not just that physical thing that you eat or you drive. You got your wife a car. The car she's been dreaming. I hope you get many tickets on it. He has to pay for it, right? So he's cursing himself. Now she's upset now. You presented to me. You did it. You paid the money. You went crazy 2-3 days calling this one, that one. And presented right already. So you see, happiness is not just dependent on the liver, the pleasure. In the end, it has to be here. The heart and the brain have to be happy. So really, happiness stems from our brain. From on top, from over here. When we're sad, we make wrong decisions. When we're sad, we go to very dark places. Very dark places. We make wrong decisions. So what does Rav Nachman say? I'll give you this interesting trick. Actually, my rabbi told me this before I got married. He used to, he prepared me this way, that way. He said, the worst thing you can do is expect. Don't expect. Right? You expect it to be a certain way, and then you get bummed out when it's not, and it destroys you. Don't expect anything. Before you come into your house, you kiss the mezuzah, lift your eyebrows. Now maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to try it here, but when you get home, you lift your eyebrows. Try to be upset with your eyebrows lifted.
When my mom used to pick up her eyebrows, that's how I knew she was upset.
That's the eyes. He's, the eyes. My father, he has big eyes. He also used to do that to us. But try to frown with your eyebrows up. What happens when you lift your eyebrows? You start to smile. Yeah. So Rav Nachman says, in order to you're upset, you're sad, you want to get yourself to be happy, you have to do what? You have to do an action. Feed the nefesh, the liver. Liver means an action in this world. Do something materialistic in this world, because that's the first thing you need to knock out, which will help the heart, then eventually will get to the brain. Then you'll really be happy. So what should you do? If you're upset, so you lift your eyebrows. Because when you do an action here, it affects the result up there. Right? Whatever we do here affects the result up there. So lift your eyebrows. You're about to be upset. Someone said something to you. Now you lift your eyebrows. It's an exercise. It's real. Rav Nachman was not a simple person. Or, it's hard to be upset when you're smiling. Try to smile. Fake it. Fake it till you'll make it. You try to smile. You smile, and it's hard to be upset when you smile. Rav Nachman says, or you look at a child. There are studies done that by looking at children, babies, a lot of sicknesses are cured. Why? Because children are always happy. And try to not smile when a baby smiles at you. It will never happen. Never happen. And most of you are thinking, I remember my little nephew. He smiles automatically, subconsciously you smile. And that effect of smiling in this world has a roshem in the next world. And that's how you create this bounty of happiness. So, you lift your eyebrows, you put a smile, you look at a baby. And actions that you can do in this world, they can affect your liver, your heart, and your brain. Now, what else does Rav Nachman say? Now, this please don't do in public. You do in your, in the home. Is you lift your legs. Now, he means to dance. He says, if you're ever upset, just start dancing.
Seriously.
Why does he say it? Now, he doesn't just say. There's so much hidden secrets on what he's saying. In our legs, if you notice, when Esau fought Yaakov, he tried to attack his leg. When you're in a fight, even girls, they go for the hair, right? They punch the face. Saying, you don't hit the legs. So why is Esau's angel, when he's fighting Yaakov, targeting the legs? Because in Kabbalistic world, our happiness in the outer is located in the sphirot. Again, I'm not a Kabbalist, but it's located in the legs. Which means that when we dance, you're never going to dance without lifting your legs. Dancing, and if you ever saw Hasidic drawings, right? when they're playing violins, they have the legs lifted. Because legs are in charge of your sadness and happiness. And that's what Esav's angel wanted to destroy. By the way, why did Esav's angel come to Yaakov specifically at that time? Out of all times, he came that time. What was that time? Yaakov Avinu left his family. The Torah says he was levado, he was alone. The Zohar says, what does it mean he was alone? Why does the Torah tell me he was alone? He left his family. Tell me he left his family. I know that he's alone if he left his family. If I left my family, that means I'm with people. I'm alone. So why does the Torah go to an extent to say levado, he was alone? To tell you that he was alone, he was in his emotions, he was lonely in his thoughts. He was lonely, he was sad. He was getting into a depressed and sad state.
Yaakov or Esau?
Yaakov. And then comes Esav's angel to attack him. Why now? Because when does negativity come? When does prosecution come to you? When you're sad. When you're depressed. When you have anxiety. When you're overthinking and building a story that's not there. When you're sad and you have depression, you have anxiety, that's when the angel comes to fight you, prosecutes against you, when you're in sadness. So Yaakov Avinu, and what does it say? What does the Torah say? What time of the day was it?
Night.
Night. The Torah is telling me it was midnight, he was alone. So many details. He left his family. Why? It was darkness. Because he was in a dark state. He was alone. Emotionally, he was alone. That's when the angel came to fight. That's when angels come to fight us. That's when we feel, heaviness.
I'm so confused. Why angel? Not like a Satan.
Satan, angel, same thing.
Oh,
Esav is the, Gemara says, Esav is the Satan, which is an angel, which is the angel of death. So that entity came to fight Yaakov, to kill him. Why did it come now? Why didn't it come an hour before, 2 hours before, 3 days before, 3 days later? Because that moment, Yaakov was in a state of loneliness. He was levado, he was alone. He was in a state of, it was darkness. The Torah specifies what time of day it was to tell us that that's how he felt emotionally. So that's when this angel, this Satan, I'm just saying angel, comes and attacks us individuals as well. Until he was able to grip himself and get to a level of happiness, only then did he overpower the angel. And what did the angel call him? Yisrael. Comes from the word Yashar. What else? Shira. Which means to sing. Until Yaakov was able to find himself to sing. Sing, you only sing in happiness, right? Sing means, sing, when I tell you let's sing, it's happy. Let's listen to music, it's happy. So, only in a state of happiness, when Yaakov got to a state of happiness, that he defeat the angel, and the angel blesses him with the name Yisrael. Shira, which Yisrael rearranged the letters, Shira El. Song to who? To Hashem. Do you see how it works? So you see this whole story of fighting with the angel, you see it in a different lens now. You see it in the lens of emotions. It was a fight of emotions. Shira El, song to Hashem. Until he sang to Hashem, he didn't win. And he blessed him, Yisrael. The secret of the Jewish people is when we sing to Hashem, is when we're happy. We find ourselves in the month of Adar. We're going to 24 hours, less than 24 hours. What does Adar stand for? En Davar Ra. Aleph, Dalet, Resh, Adar. Ein Davar Ra. There's no such thing as Ra. Where? In the month of Adar. There's no Ra. It's all in here. Ra is not on the outside, it's from the inside. You choose it. She doesn't define your emotion. He doesn't define your emotion. This thing, it's not unconditioned. If I have this, I will become like this. No, it's a decision. You decide. It's in your hands. You have control over it. And just knowing that, it's already helped. It's already helpful. Let's proceed. So we said, different actions you can do. Lift your eyebrows, put a smile, you dance. And Rav Nachman says, you clap. If you ever see videos of Lubavitcher Rebbe, how he claps. Always the same way. He doesn't clap like this. He claps like this. Right hand over left. Always. And there's a reason to that. Same reasons we have with our feet, why the angel attacks his feet. With our hands, always the right overpowers the left and you clap. So whenever you feel sadness, you have certain things to do. Rav Nachman says you lift your eyebrows. Because when you lift your eyebrows, it's hard to frown. You start to smile. It just happens. You look at a baby. Because looking at a baby, you automatically smile. When they smile, you smile as well. You start to dance privately, yeah? Start to dance. Lift your feet. Dance. And you clap. Right hand over left. Let's get to the notes, yeah? Let's look at the paper. Okay, number 1. If we can work on these 3 main things, overpower these 3 main things, we have the right lane to happy life. Number 1, social comparison. What does social comparison mean? You're looking everywhere else but where you're supposed to be looking. My father always told me, as a child, focus on your plate. Don't look at other people's plates. Focus on your plate. You still have stuff to work on in your plate. Are you busy working? Are you focusing on someone else's plate? What he has, what she has. You have your plate. Finish your plate first. Social comparison. Stay in your lane. The problem is we don't like to stay in our lane. We're busy looking and not focused where we are. When we compare our life to other people, it's guaranteed you won't be happy. Why? Listen to this. The Yetzer Hara, he custom makes whatever you're lacking and he shows you. Let's say a man, right? He's suffering from hair loss. He's getting bald and he's depressed because he had the nice hairstyles in high school and he was known for his hairstyles. Now he's suffering from all that gel. He's suffering from baldness. You know what's going to happen? The Yetzer Hara. Because the Yetzer Hara works extra hard to make you upset, to make you sad. The Zohar, Parashat Pinchas, writes that the Yetzer Hara works more to make you sad than to make you sin.
Because when you're sad, you sin.
Because sadness brings to sin. I remember I was sad. I was in yeshiva in Monsey. I was very sad for whatever reason. Maybe for a different time. I was in a very depressed state in my life. Certain point in my life, I was very sad. I came to yeshiva, first time in yeshiva, conversion, becoming Jewish, boom, yeshiva, and I was very depressed. What did I do? I started to spend a lot. Familiar?
Retail therapy is the best.
What?
Retail therapy is the best. Retail therapy?
Is the best, yeah. But then when the bill comes, it's not the best.
Why is that a sin?
The buying was not a sin.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't the sin, but sadness, it can get you to do things that you won't usually do if you were in your state of mind. But then when I bought this thing, I was like, what do? I don't have the money to pay for it. And then it led to calling my father, hey, can you send me money? What do you mean? What are you doing? You just got a new phone. You go, why did you buy it? The sins. Argument, and it starts. What was the stem? What was the root? Sadness. So, if a person who's suffering from baldness, you know what the HR is going to do? Custom make. He's going to start to see everyone bald. A person is suffering from, she can't get married. He can't get married. All the person is going to see on his phone is wedding invitations of other people. Dafka. The lady can't have children. We should never know. And she's suffering from it. What's going to be? And she's suffering. She's not in her lane. Why does she have? Why does this one have? I'm more religious than her. I keep Shabbat now. I covered my hair. But look at her. She doesn't do this. And she has this. She has life like that. Right? We're not in our lane. We're focused on other people's plates. What is the HR going to do? You're going to start seeing carriages everywhere. Why? Why does he do that? Because his job is to make you sad. His job is to make you depressed. Good? If you're single, if you're broke, you'll see everyone with money, right? He custom makes a problem for you. When you compare, you despair. Once you start comparing your life to other people, why he, why she, you start to have despair. The Gemara says when a person focuses on what's not his, he loses what he seeks. Listen to this. When you focus on what's not on something that's not yours, you lose what you seek, because it cuts the law of attraction. And whatever he does, he won't appreciate it, and he loses that too. So a person who's busy, not in his lane, focusing on what other people have, he ends up losing on what he has. If you want someone else's life, make sure you take the full package. Yeah, you know that example. They asked the person was, very jealous, and he was always, his life, her life. So one said, you know what? If I would bring in line all the people in the world with all their blessings and their problems, and you would have to choose whose life you wanted. You know whose life you choose? Yours. You know why yours? Because you were designed, Hashem designed you to be able to overcome and to know how to withhold and experience your life for you. Because your life is tailor-made for you. You'd always choose your life because you have the tools to be able to overcome all the challenges that you have. So the minute you compare, it will lead to despair. Social media, the rabbi writes, what did it do to us? Unattainable goals. And that's the monster it created. What does it mean, unattainable goals? It's out there. It shows you a picture that you want to have, but that's not for you. And now you start to live, you try to live your life this way, but it's unattainable for your make of your life. Unattainable goals. And what happens? You suffer anxiety, depression, I'm miserable, my life is not good. And you have a good life, but you don't see it. And now that you don't see it, you lose that too. You lose that too. That's because we don't stay in our lane. Social comparison. We all have different missions in our life. Stay in your lane. That's a guaranteed way to lose and not be happy. Not only are you in the wrong lane, but you stop receiving. The more you chase, the less you have. The Gemara says, the more a person is obsessed with money, the more money runs away from him. The Pirkei Avot says, the more a person wants kavod, wants honor, wants people to notice him, to clap for him, to stand for him, to say, he's here, she's here, the more honor runs away from him. It's opposite. It's the complete opposite. Because you can't attract from scarcity. You can only attract from feeling abundant. Once you see what he or she has, what happens to you? How do you start to feel? I wish I had. So now, what is your emotion? Jealousy. Now you think you're going to attract abundance? Opposite, you're going to lose. You can't attract in a sad state. You can only attract in an abundant state. That's how attraction works in spirituality. When you're sad, when you're saying, I don't have, I'm miserable, I'm not good, it's not good, you're losing. You're not attracting. Yaakov Avinu, he didn't have divine intervention, divine revelation from God for 22 years. He did not have communication with God for 22 years. Why? He was in a sad state. Because when you're in a sad state, you can't receive. So here, if you feel abundant, you don't need to ask. It will attract itself to you. But if you're always, you know what, I have a good life, everything is good, I'm thankful. You're happy with what you have, you don't even need to ask Hashem for what you want. It will attract itself to you. That's how it works. Sadness doesn't attract. You lose. Even the things that you have. Because now that what you have, you're not grateful for. You're not noticing it. So even that you lose. So it's a lose-lose. But when you're busy being happy and saying, you know what, not bad, I have. Look at this. I have more than this one. It can be worse. Baruch Hashem. That when you're in an abundant state, when you're thinking, there's a concept to even thank Hashem for the bad. Why? Because that's the process. The bad is the process. What do we compare it to? 2 weeks ago we said a tree. But you know what else we're compared to? A moon. Not my moon. It's not hot here. A little bit. A moon. Why a moon? A moon has different phases.
Phases?
Yeah. You know what it teaches us? Life won't always be full. Won't always be good. Won't always be abundant. But it will pass. Because soon it will become full. It will pass. King David, his last words to his son, when he transferred kingship, he gave him a ring with 3 letters. Gimel, Zayin, Yud. Gam ze yavo. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. That's the last thing you tell your son. That's the last thing. That's the last thing. This too will pass. So let's finish here. If you feel abundant, you don't need to ask. It will attract itself to you. Anytime you want something out of lack, it comes from sadness. I'm not good enough. I'm not good. I need this. That's a problem. I don't have. I'm lacking. You lose this law of attraction. Social comparison equals blessing blockage. Then you have examples, like I said earlier. She's not frum, and look how everything works out for her. Another concept we have to learn, don't play God. You don't get to choose who deserves what. Don't play God. Why he has, why she has. They have their mission, you have your mission. Why I'm not receiving? Because you're not in your lane. Blessing came to Jewish people when they didn't stare at the other tents. Right? Bilam, he cursed the Jewish people. But he also blessed us. He tried to curse us, it became into a blessing. What did he notice about the Jewish people? A quality that no one else had.
Not facing each other's openings.
Oh, what does that mean? So there's 2 lessons here. Tzniut. And another lesson is? No, the second lesson. Third lesson is? Not to compare. What I have in my 4 walls, that's what I'm happy with what I have. And what you have with your 4 walls, that's for you. And Bilam saw that. He says, wow, look at a nation who's happy with what they have. And he blessed us. So when this blessing comes, when we're busy with our 4 walls and we're happy within our 4 walls. Number 2.
Rabbi, do you mind if I just interject for a second?
Go ahead.
We live in a day and age where we not see everything by accident. Not by choice. We see everything by accident almost. Everybody's life is in our face. Of like this and this and this is happening in my life, and this and this and this is happening in my life. It's almost a trend right now to compare yourself to other people. So how do you not do that?
Stay away from social media.
Not just that is a good
That's
thing.
if you start there, we're already good.
No, because if you look at social media, it's like, okay, that person's rich. What do I have to do with it? When that person has these benefits in their life, what do I have
But
to
it
do
makes you
with it?
compare yourself.
But
to
when
others.
it's your peers, when it's your
Yeah,
people
you
that
see the
you're like, we
outside.
started off on the same starting point, but she's there and I'm here.
I hear you. Number 1, I tell you again, social media. Now you happen probably not to have social media, so it doesn't apply to you so much. That's why you gave an example of peers. Good. So for that example, as long as you are staying in your lane, if you're busy looking at the scoreboard, you're not playing the game. You're not playing the game. You have to play the game. And don't worry about the scoreboard, because that's up to Hashem. The scoreboard is the result. That's Hashem. The game, you have to play, that's your hishtadlus. She has her unique mission, you have your unique mission. Again, if you want her life, you have to take the full package. The bad too you have to take. That you're not willing to take. You're willing to take your bad and your good because you know that's tailor-made for you. So just knowing that concept. Staying away from social media. Staying in your lane. Focusing on your plate. Because there's so much to do in your... When do we have the time to look at other people? There's so much that we have to focus on ourselves. You have time to look at other people? What she has? What's it? You want to help her in her life? You have so much on your plate. And to know this, that there's a concept where when we're busy looking there and not what happens automatically. We don't appreciate what we have. Then we become sad and then we lose out. Domino. It's what it is. We lose out. I saw what he or she has. I got upset because I don't have it. My life stinks. Oh yeah, it stinks? All that I give you? No problem. You don't appreciate it, I'll take that too. Now really we're back to square one. Yes.
I have a question. Let's say someone challenges in your life. Let's say they want to say thank you, just like say like thank you Hashem for like the bad, because like it's so easy to say thank you Hashem for the good. Let's say you generally want to thank Hashem for all like the quote unquote like bad that happens in your life, because right they say like, oh, everything in your life that happens to you, nothing is bad. Like Hashem did it for a reason. How do you get to that point of like being happy in that bad moment and like saying like genuinely like Hashem thank you?
What's the point of challenges?
Make you stronger.
Can we get to number 3? It'll answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay, we're number 2. It'll answer your question. Okay, let's go number 2. Outcome obsession. I love this one. If only syndrome. We spoke a little bit about this. Waiting for something to happen to be happy. I'll be happy when this happens and that. The minute you make your life on a condition, you lost. It's the decision, not the condition. We can't tell Hashem, I'll be happy when this happens. The spiritual law of attraction is joy. When we're happy, we attract things. Meaning when we're happy, that's when we attract things. That's the law of attraction of spirituality. But if we wait on conditions, we replicate the sin of Adam and Eve. What's the connection? How do we replicate? If we're sad and we're depressed and we're waiting and living life on condition, we are like Adam and Eve. Listen to what we wrote. They separated the fruit from the tree. They didn't let the process finish. They rushed it. What did Hashem say? Don't eat. And if you would have waited till Shabbat, the process of the fruit would have grown. Then I would have let you eat it. But what did you do? You rushed the process. And because you rushed the process, you slipped up. So now look what we wrote. Why do we love the etrog so much? Right? Men, on Sukkot, before Sukkot, we buy lulav and etrog. We spend hundreds of dollars on this etrog. I know people that spend $2,000 on just a lemon that costs 50 cents. And after Sukkot, it's back to 50 cents. $1,000. Why? Is there no fruit that we cherish this, give such importance to as an etrog? So let's look what the Gemara says. Why we love the etrog so much? We pay so much money for it. Gemara in Sukkah 35a says the fruit tastes like the bark. The only tree, the only fruit that tastes exactly like the bark is the etrog. What does that mean? That means that the bark, that the tree, the fruit comes out of, if you taste the bark now, what's going to taste like? Bitter. Etrog, the bark tastes exactly like the fruit. The only one. Why? Because it was the only fruit that didn't complain. Okay, that's a different shiur. But once again, why do we love the etrog so much? Look what we wrote. The bark of the tree is perfect because it's present. It's living a life of being present. Meaning to say, it was full. The process finished. What does that mean? To see that the process and the prize are one. There's a process and there's a prize. In order to be a doctor, there's a process you have to go through. In order to climb a mountain, there's a process. In order to achieve, there's a process. Then there's a prize. If we can master to prize the process like the prize, we will be happy. To prize the process like the prize. Meaning to say, if I would ask you, if you had a challenge, and I would ask you, are you happy? If you went through a certain process, right? If you went through something, and I would ask you, are you threatened or excited? You're going through something. Are you threatened or excited? And if you would answer, threatened, that would lead to what? Sadness, depression, anxiety, etc. But if you would tell me excited, that means that you're prizing the process like the prize. And that's the goal. So look what we wrote. What does that mean to see the process and the prize as one? Some people say, I can't wait to make this deal. Then I'll be able to breathe. No. Breathe. And then you'll make the deal. You see how it works? Oh, I can't wait this to happen, then I can relax. Then I can put my feet up and that's it. No. You breathe. And that's how the deal will come about. Because now the process, you're prizing. You're enjoying the process. That's the real prize. Now that's what it means. I think that this is your question. It's part of your question. How can we get to a state of thinking for what we lack? I'm not married. Thank you, Hashem, I'm not married. Doesn't make sense. That's prizing the process because that's part of the process. That's part of the process. You're lacking this, that's the process. You know, I saw a wonderful quote. Read. It stays with me for months. If in the end it's not a happy ending, then it's not yet the end. Wonderful. If in the end it's not a happy ending, then it's not yet the end. Because in the end it has to be a happy ending. Must. It has to be happy. There has to be that light in the end of the tunnel. Good. Let's finish up. Don't determine your life on outcomes. Determine it by decisions and states. Choosing to be happy, I don't care if house ready or not. If he or she is nice. You come into the house, you want it to be nice and clean. You want your husband and wife to greet you a certain way. They didn't. Oh, that ruined my mood. No, you chose it to ruin your mood. If you know, Sabrina, listen to this. If you know that at 8 o'clock you're going to make a business deal for $1 million, is anyone ruining your mood today? Nobody's ruining your mood. Rabbi, $1 million, Mexico, Aruba, Bahamas, Maserati, Mercedes, here, Tory, Birch, Louis Vuitton. What else we have? Gucci, Fucci. Here we come. I can't upset me. But if that $1 million deal was not coming, would he or she, what she said, upset you? Yeah. What's the difference? Because you're choosing not to care. You're choosing not to care. You know, you have to know, everything is a test. She said, he looked, she looked. Rabbi, why is she looking at me like that? In high school, we used to say, why are you grilling me? I don't know if you still say it now. You still say no? Why are you grilling me? Test. It's a test. What's the point of a test? We're going to see soon. So let's finish up. Our life is like a moon. It won't be full at all times. Stop waiting for outcomes. Don't become hostage to conditions. Then everything else takes a hit. Don't separate the process from the prize. Enjoy it as much. Don't be like Adam and Eve. They took the fruit too soon. Because they wanted the process, they wanted the prize fast. No, the way to get the prize is to enjoy the process. And that's why the etrog, we love it so much. Because the process and the prize is one. It's living. Because the bark tastes like the fruit. Which means that the etrog was the only one that had a full process. Which means that the process was being enjoyed. That's why the prize is also enjoyed. That's why there's a concept to thank God for the problem itself. Because that's part of the process. Number 3. Believing the challenge is bigger than you causes sadness. One of the worst things ever. This is gold. Whatever doesn't challenge you doesn't change you. A situation happens, ask yourself, are you threatened or excited? Because Hashem doesn't give you something you can't handle. Never ever. But He'll give you a challenge, and if you feel it's bigger than you, it automatically invokes sadness, stress, anxiety, depression, panic. But if you believe you can handle it, then you'll be excited. Will you get challenged? Yes. How else are you supposed to grow? When you feel challenged, you're focused, but when you feel threatened, you're frazzled. If you now are in a competition, and it's challenging, but you're in a competition, so where is your brain at? You're focused. You want to achieve something, right? But if you're in a challenge, and you're not focused, you feel threatened. And you feel off course. And you don't stay in your lane. So every challenge, it's there to make you grow. There will be challenges. It's going to happen. It's there to help you grow. In life, we get what we focus on. You know, in the Gemara, there's a saying. The Gemara has a beautiful saying. Hama'asim nimshichim halevavot. Your actions affect your nimshichim levavot. Go after your heart. As long as you act a certain way, that's how your heart will feel. Because life goes after our actions. I want to tell you one story, and then we're going to conclude. Rav Nachman, like I said, he's the doctor of happiness. He says a story. There was a man who wasn't well off. He was a little poor. He couldn't feed his family. So he had an interesting job. And in Africa, they do the same thing. What do they do in Africa? They have water. And they have sand. They take a bucket. And they hope to find rocks in the sand. And these rocks are like, they're worth some money. And this was his job. He would dig sand. He would look for special rocks, green rocks, purple rocks, red rocks, stones. And like this, he would make money. One day, he finds a beautiful diamond. He says, whoa, this I never caught. He goes to his local 47th Street jeweler, Simon Diamonds. Yeah? He goes to Simon Diamonds, and he says, what's this worth? He says, whoa, too much. So much that no one on 47th Street has enough money to pay for this diamond. You have to go to somewhere else, different country. Go to England. Just England? I have to take a ship, 3 days on the ship. I can't afford a ticket to the ship. Not only can I afford a ticket to the ship, I can't afford a ride to the shore to get a ticket to get to the ship. He says, this diamond is worth a lot. You're a billionaire. We don't have enough money to give you. It's a rare diamond. In England, they'll be able to pay you out. Okay. He collects money from other people. He gets enough money to get to the ship, to the deck. He gets to the deck, he ran out of money to buy a ticket to the ship. He doesn't know what to do. He says, I'm already here, what do I do? He goes to the captain. He says, Captain, see this diamond? Wow, what a diamond, beautiful. He says, I'm going to sell it in England, I'm going to make money, and I'm going to give you for the ride on the ship. The captain said, wow. Now the captain, he has motives. He says, I'm going to be nice to this guy. I'm going to promote him. I'm going to give him a suite. I'm going to give him the best room, the best this. Because I'm going to make more. I'm going to make more. I'm going to befriend him to make more money. So he says, don't worry, come on to the ship. He gives him the best room. He's in the floor with all the rich people. Now this poor guy, he's, aristocrats, and he's enjoying, he's talking to them, he's eating, and he had a little custom. Every time he sat to eat, he would put the diamond in front of him. Why? So that he can mesmerize about the diamond, what's going to be. I'm going to buy my wife, I'm going to finally take her out, I'm going to go on a vacation, my kids are going to have new clothes. So he would, he would envision and imagine wonderful things. So one day he's eating and he falls asleep while he's eating. It happens. He falls asleep while he's eating, and what happens after that? The waiter comes to clean up. Now he doesn't want to bother the guy, he's in the rich suite. He can't bother rich people. So he says, you know what, I'll just clean around him. So he takes his, what is it called? Tablecloth. And what did they do back in the day? On the ocean. In the ocean. And they put it back nicely, he wakes up. Diamond. Maybe I didn't put it, but it's gone, everything is clean. He's frustrated, he's scared, he's crying. Just like that, right? He's crying. And then he goes to the waiter. He says, tell me, did you see a diamond? Did you see? I don't know, I took it and I went to the ocean. He says, oh, to the ocean. Good luck, finally get in the ocean. Now he doesn't know what to do. Automatically, what happens in his brain? He's worried. He's like, the captain is, he's going to kill me. The captain he's a mean guy. He's being nice to me because he knows that I'm going to have money. I'm going to pay him a lot. What am I going to do now? What am I going to tell him? Now he's worried, and this worriness is making him to... So he said, look what he does. If I show him that I'm worried. I'm in this boat ride with him, ship for 2 days already. We have 1 more day left. He's been seeing a smile on my face. I've been the happiest I've ever been in my life. If I start now showing him that I'm worried, he's going to know, why is this guy worried? He's a billionaire. What can go wrong in his life? What can someone say to upset him? He's a billionaire. So that means something happened with the diamond. Then he's going to know, and then he's going to maybe, I don't know, throw me offshore, kick me out. He's going to do something. So I got to fake it. Put on a face, put on a smile, raise my eyebrows, lift my feet, clap right hand over left, find the baby to look at. I have to make sure I'm in a happy state. Because I can't show him that I'm sad, because he'll know, and one thing will lead to another. And then 1 day left, and he's getting close to the captain. The captain says, I want to talk to you. Oh, he's so worried. What is the captain want? He never said he wanted to talk to me. 2 days I'm with him, he didn't talk to me. He wants to talk to me now. And he says, what does he know? Was I showing sadness? He says, I like you. I don't know you so well, but I like you. I have a lot of wheat. Not weed, wheat. Yeah? I have a lot of wheat. And in England, they already know me. So they're going to charge me a lot of tax. But newcomers, as a welcoming, they don't charge tax. So maybe I'll put it under your name. And I'll make everything I make profit. Every profit I make, I'll give you 10% from it. This guy says, yes, I'll do it. Where do I sign? I'll sign the back. I'll sign the front. Give me pink color, red color. No problem. I'll sign. Social Security, take it. Sure, I'll sign. Okay, they get off the shore. He signs. He's so happy. The captain wins. Doesn't pay tax. This poor guy wins. Now he can maybe make some money that's worth the same as this diamond in England. They get to shore. The captain gets to shore. He's not feeling well. Chest pain. The captain has chest pain. Get me water. Before they get him water, he drops and falls and he dies. So now everyone gets off the shore. This guy doesn't know what to do. And the people that were supposed to do business with the wheat, he said, hey, who's Mr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so? So he says, it's me. My name is on the papers. Okay, here, this is all yours. Let's exchange for the money. Now, who keeps all the money? He keeps all the money. He doesn't have to share it. Doesn't make 10%. He keeps all the money that the captain's supposed to have because whose name was on it? His name was on it. So the captain's family they can scream and yell all they want. It's ours, it's our father's. Whose name is on it? This poor guy. Rav Nachman is telling us the story. What is the point of the story? The diamond, was it meant to be his? If it was meant to be his, it would be his. But it was a test. This diamond brought to him a test. What was the test? How can you withstand? How can you overcome in a challenging situation? How can you overcome it? From sadness to happiness. How can you decide to be happy? Because it's a decision. Is happiness a creation or it always was? What did Hashem create first? Vayi Erev, Vayi Boker, Yom Echad. What did He create first? Erev. What's Erev?
Night.
Evening. Then He created light. Happiness is a creation. It's a decision. It wasn't in the system, right? Always. It was a creation and we decide. So because He decided to be happy, there was a law of attraction of happiness. And what happened? Because He was happy. It's the happiness that got Him to get the signature. Because if He was upset, the captain would have noticed something fishy and there would have been something. But because He chose to be happy, because it's a decision. Not based on the condition. He got the signature, the captain died. We feel bad for him, but that's what happened. And he got the wealth that he made more than he would have gotten for the diamond. So what saved him? Not the diamond. He's choosing to be happy. I want to finish. Today, all of us are in this room at 9:01 before Rosh Chodesh Adar because of one person. His name is Avraham Avinu. If it wasn't for Avraham Avinu, we would not be here today. And what is this person? What did he do? And what's that moment? Avraham Avinu had a very hard life, very difficult life. Him and his wife. For 99 years he did not have a child. He finally has a child. What happens after 37 years? The child is not married, no shidduch prospects, nothing. You know, they say he didn't even have, he didn't go to yeshiva even until he was 37 years old. Could you imagine? Why? Because he was mommy's boy till he was 37. Mommy didn't want him to go to little yeshiva. Well, not little anymore, right? He didn't go to yeshiva. That day is when Avraham told his wife, I'm taking him to yeshiva. Time, let him go. Let him go. He's 37 already. He has to get married. He has to build a house. No, let him go. She says, okay, go. You can't blame the lady. Yeah, 90 years she didn't have. She lets him go. He says, Hashem comes to Avraham. Avraham John, my dear, my Eved Avraham. The only person that Hashem says my love is by Avraham, because he's the epitome of what I'm about to say. Because of him we are here today. He says, I want you to take your son, your favorite son, the one you love, and I want you to sacrifice him. Okay? As he's about to sacrifice him, there's a voice. Where did this voice come from? Avraham, Avraham. In Shemaim. Whose voice was this? Hashem. 1 second. Does Hashem talk to a person when he's sad? Did Hashem talk to Yaakov Avinu for 22 years? No. Does Hashem talk to a person when he's sad? There's a rule. There's a rule in prophecy. There's certain criteria in order to be a prophet, to have Ruach HaKodesh. One of the rules is you have to be in a happy state. That's why many prophets, they used to play music. And while playing music, by the way, that's a class we have to have. Music. Power of music. It will change your life. It's a very powerful class. Mamash powerful. Besides that point, early advertisement, yeah? Music. Listen to this, music. And with this we finish. Hashem doesn't talk to you if you're in a sad state. Now, picture us in Abraham's position. His only son, he waited 99 years. At age 37, no grandchildren, no marriage. When Hashem promised him, you're going to have Zer Zeracha, you're going to have a generation of generations, you're going to have stars of the sky, the sand of the sea, you're going to have a lot. Well, this is my only son, the one I love, and I have to kill him now. It's pretty sad, pretty depressing, pretty frustrating. But Hashem comes to him and says, Avraham, Avraham. Hashem doesn't come to you if you're sad. It tells us that Avraham wasn't sad. He was in a happy state, because Hashem doesn't come to you if you're not happy. He was happy. How do we know? Because happiness is a decision, not based on condition. He was happy, and because he was happy, Hashem says, stop. Because if you were not happy, Hashem would not come to you, and you would have killed your son. And if you kill your son, there's no Yaakov. There's no Yaakov, there's no 12 tribes. There's no 12 tribes. There's no Wednesday night class in Fresh Meadows.
What?
There's no Wednesday night class in Fresh Meadows. We would not exist today if Avraham was sad. Our existence today is our simcha, our happiness. Because he was in a happy state, Hashem spoke to him. If he was in a depressed state, Hashem would not come to him and he would sacrifice his son. Ezu ashir besameach behelko. What does chelko mean? Portion. How do you spell helik? I want you to write that. And it's the last thing you're going to write. I want you to write a het. You know what het stands for? Cham. What does cham mean? Hot. Chelko. What's the next letter? What does lamed stand for? Lash. What does lash mean? Wet. Wet. W-E-T. Lash. Helko. Kuf. Kuf stands for kar. Very good. Which means cold. Helko, with the vav in the end. Ve. Ve-yavesh. Ve-yavesh. What is yavesh? Dry. Hot, wet, cold, dry. What did I just mention? What's the theme? What's the common denominator? The weathers. Ezu ashir, who is a rich person? Besameach b'chelko. who is happy with what he has, his weather? No. Weather here is emotion. Your emotions sometimes are going to be hot. Sometimes going to be wet. Sometimes going to be cold. Sometimes going to be dry. Weather is cold, hot, spring, fall. Seasons change. Our emotions change. It's going to happen. Ezu Ashir b'sameach b'chelko. He's happy even though there are changes into his season, into his emotions.
Wow, that's great.
You think you drove here 20 minutes to hear something you heard before? B'sameach b'chelko. What is chelko? It's different seasons, different emotions you go through. So Yiratzon, there's a lot that we said. You have it in the notes though. So I advise you to go through the notes, finish it up. But I think we walk away with understanding that happiness is a decision, not a decision not based on condition. Happiness starts from the seichel, because machshava is simcha, chamisha. It starts with the liver, the heart, and the brain. That I can eat the same steak, but as long as it was presented to me not a nice way and not in a happy way, that this same steak that usually makes me happy doesn't make me happy, because ultimately happiness comes from where? From deciding to be happy. She or he or this situation does not get me to be happy. These new shoes are not going to make you happy. These new laptops are not going to make you happy. I know people, BMW, you got a BMW. He's 1 month, new car smell. After a month is over, I see him on the computer. He's already looking for a new car. He says, what happened? You just got it 1 month, you're so happy. He says, the new one is out. It's a cycle. Because it's not based on condition. It's a decision you make and it starts here. And there's no bigger happiness than being connected to Hashem. As long as you do something physical, it will make a roshem, it will make an impact in the spiritual. So, you raise your eyebrows, you put a smile, you find a child to look at, you start to dance up and down with your feet, and you clap. Because when there's an action, there's a reaction. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, if you have to go, you can go. But if you have any questions, you please ask.